Hello, everyone. So we didn't quite get to this question on applications, linear equations in section 2.4. So I wanted to make sure I showed you how to do a distance, rate, time problem like this. So here we have the Smiths are moving across the country. Mr. Smith leaves 3 hours before Mrs. Smith. He averages 55 miles per hour and she averages 65 miles per hour. How many hours will it take Mrs. Smith to catch up to Mr. Smith? So one thing we notice is that Mr. Smith's time will be 3 hours more than Mrs. Smith since he's leaving before her. We also know that he is averaging 55 miles per hour while she's averaging 65 miles per hour. So he's moving a little bit slower. And what we want to know is how many hours will it take Mrs. Smith to catch up to Mr. Smith? Now, this is essentially saying that we're interested in finding out the time, right? So find the time when their distances from home are equal, right? So we want their distances to be the same. That means that they have caught up to each other, right? Okay, so let's set this up. We're gonna say that for Mr. Smith, we have one set of distance equals rate times time, right? And for Mrs. Smith, we have another set of distance equals rate times time. Now, what you'll often see is in math, if we're going to reuse a formula, we should indicate that these are different by writing like a little subscript. So those are ones and these are going to be twos. Okay, so for the case of Mr. Smith, we know that he is averaging 55 miles per hour. He's going a little bit slower. So his rate is 55. And again, we know that he takes an extra 3 hours because he gets a head start. So he has a t plus 3 here relative to Mrs. Smith, who is just going to be t here. Okay, and then the rate that Mrs. Smith is going, we know that to be 65 miles per hour. And their distances, D1 and D2, they should be equal to each other. So now I'm going to just rewrite them as G. And since they're equal to each other, the next thing that we can write is we can say that 55 times t plus 3 is equal with 65 times t. And then we just go ahead and solve that. So I notice on the left-hand side that I can distribute my 55. And when I distribute that, I get 55t plus 55 times 3, which is 165. And I still have that equal to 65t. I'm going to subtract 55t on both sides. And that is going to give me a 0 here with just 65 left over. 165. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to get 65t minus 55t, which is a 10t. If I divide both sides by 10 to get a 1t, I am left with t is equal with 16.5. So what this means is that it takes 16½ hours for Mrs. Smith to catch up to Mr. Smith. Because t, remember, was her time. Okay, try another one on your own. I know these are not simple. Good luck.